Hey y'all, I'm Brooke Hoover, a Louisiana native, actor, writer, and comedian. I've lost 100 pounds through diet and exercise, or shall I say, lifestyle changes. My 20-year and counting health journey has taught me that just like taking a diet pill for weight loss, body positivity doesn't magically happen overnight. I'm working on regaining my self-esteem and rekindling my love affair with Cajun and Southern comfort food in a healthier way, all the while juggling eating as clean as I can, reestablishing myself in the entertainment industry, which, as we know, is historically fat-phobic, all the while showing my inner fat girl some love. That's fat with a PH. Pretty hot and tempting. Let me tell y'all a tale or two. Hey everybody, what's up y'all? We are talking about fall. I wanted to get a little rhyme in there. I love fall. I want to meet someone who does not like fall. Like, that is a really disgraceful human being. Like, oh, I don't like fall. Fall is the best, right? It's like crisp and cool and wonderful, like clothing options, boots, booties if you're crazy, or Halloween, Thanksgiving. It's like all that fun before like the Christmas BS and madness, and then like the New Year sadness. And ooh, we're rhyming today. I just really love fall. And fall has, as of late, become like a basic beast thing. I'm trying not to use so many curse words, but I think y'all know where I'm going with that. And that's okay. Like, if you're a basic bee and you like fall, fall welcomes all. Oh, we are going with some rhymes. Here's another thing I think we all love about fall. Yes, pumpkin spice lattes. Those are wonderful. I can't say I've had one of those in ever. Actually, ever. I've never had one of those ever. I've never had a pumpkin spice latte. And don't feel sad or like, oh, poor Brooke. It's because I avoid the sugar. I mean, insulin resistance with polycystic ovarian syndrome, that's a real thing. And just in general, y'all, even if you're a human being who doesn't need to avoid sugar, you should be a human being who is avoiding sugar. It is not necessarily that great for you. But the fall foods are so wonderful. Like, there's so many wonderful, tantalizing fall options, and they're usually always made with apple, which obviously apple has a flavor, or pumpkin, and pumpkin doesn't really have a flavor on its own. We like the pumpkin spice. All right, so I'm going to be talking about some healthier, simpler fall kind of fixes that I have concocted. I mean, again, I'm not reinventing the wheel. These are just little things I do that I'm sharing with y'all that are low in sugar, cleaner ingredients. Again, we're not about being perfect here. We're not about fear mongering here. We're just about higher protein, higher fiber. I love fiber. And also a little bit lower in the carbs and lower in the sugar. So that way we can really sustain that fall haul for the winter. Now, here's another thing. I'm not saying avoid all the fun fall treats. You shouldn't do that. Let's not talk like that. That's negative, unnecessary. But, oh, my dog agrees. I don't know which dog that was, but y'all may have heard a bark. I think that was Annie. She highly agreed with me on that. But, say you're like really craving like these apple pie type of things, or like apple strudel, pumpkin spice lattes, and the what's it called, those donuts from the farmers market, the apple donuts. Yeah, I think that's what they're called. Eating all this stuff on repeat for the whole season is eventually going to make you feel like crap physically, because it's just overload of inflammatory foods, and mentally, not necessarily, oh, I'm guilting myself, but at least for me, it really increases the brain fog. And all those foods make my anxiety worse, because it's like they're working against you. So how do we make these wonderful fall foods work for us? Now, here's the thing. If you're like Brooke, I'm desperately craving an apple cider donut. That's what they're called. See, brain fog, friends. Sure, fine. This is my thing. Go find the best apple cider donut that you can find. Like, make it like a mission, right? Instead of like just going to your local grocery store and picking up a six pack, a six pack of apple cider donuts, and beasting all of them, why not just take a drive out in nature if you have a car, or if not, go find that lovely farm. I heard there's a wonderful farm in Queens, New York, which is pretty fabulous. I have not witnessed it yet, but that's pretty cool. Go find that diamond in the rough, that best donut, that best apple pie, that best apple strudel, that local wonderful coffee shop that gives you all the feels, and have that pumpkin spice latte, but make like an event of it. So it's not like you're having all these slightly unhealthy, or okay, fine, fully unhealthy foods, right? They can range from slightly unhealthy to completely unhealthy because of we're looking at their sugar content and their nutrient um less content. Yeah, so make it like a thing. I hope I'm making sense. I don't want to get too preachy here, because let's talk about the positive, right? There's a lot of wonderful things that go into the fall foods. And again, we're taking out the white flour. We're taking out the white sugar. And I'm just going to talk about the basics, and then I'm going to talk about how to make those foods your own without adding inflammatory to it. Because many of these herbs we're fixing to talk about, herbs, or more so spices, these spices we are fixing to talk about are warming spices. So these are great when we're getting into a cold season because it supports your body kind of from the inside out. That's a very rudimentary way to put it. But the spices that we all associate with fall: cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, clove, loaded in general with antioxidants, anti-inflammatory stuff. Let's talk about one of my favorite things ever: cinnamon. It's loaded with antioxidants. It's antifungal, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. It's also known to help balance blood sugar, and that helps keep your energy and the mood stable for the day. I mean, hello, you're talking to me right here, cinnamon. And what I used to do, and actually, while I was kind of like drafting up the outline for this podcast, I realized I need to start doing it. I intend to start doing it. You hear that dialogue right there? Get an organic cinnamon stick and put it in water and drink on that water all day, right? And notice I say organic cinnamon stick. And it's not because I'm a bougie basic bee, though I do love getting fancy Whole Foods, whole paycheck. Actually, but with all the groceries going up across the market, can we even say whole paycheck for Whole Foods anymore? It's like A&P, whole paycheck, Trader Joe's, whole paycheck, 7-Eleven, whole paycheck, everything's gone up. So a Whole Foods for me is just like a fancy day out, like that buffet. Love it. Anyways, certain things, though, need to be organic that we eat, if possible. I understand it's a lot more for the budget. Believe me, I understand. But certain things you want to be organic. Strawberries are one of them. Cinnamon sticks, definitely one of them, because think about it. If you're getting a cinnamon stick and you're going to put it in your water bottle and you're going to kind of, be drinking that all day, if it was not organic, it would be soaked in chemicals, right? And you'd be soaking up all that. You might be getting some of the benefits of cinnamon, again, for the insulin resistance, keeping blood sugar at bay. That's a benefit, but you'd be sucking on chemicals. Organic cinnamon sticks. I went on a big tangent there. Let's talk about ginger. I think we all know and love ginger, especially my friends who have ever been pregnant. It helps with nausea. It helps with digestion. It's also, of course, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and it has been known to help with vertigo. I've been suffering. Thank God I'm getting a lot better thanks to vestibular physical therapy. That's really helping me with my vertigo. But ginger was something I did a lot, and I'm still doing. We will talk about that. Ginger is wonderful. I think many of my friends who are in the performing arts, especially for our voices and for our health, we consume a lot of ginger. Also, let's talk about nutmeg. I learned about nutmeg when I had a back issue happen a couple years ago. Utmeg. Nutmeg is very anti-inflammatory, and it's an antioxidant, right? And it has antibacterial properties. They're also known to be especially helpful in the oral health region. And I'm fixing to go through a lot of dental work, so I'll be keeping that nutmeg there just to make sure everything stays all right. And hurt my back in Zumba class the other day. So more nutmeg. You can put it on if you do overnight oats or oatmeal, pasta, cinnamon. I really like to put it. I mean, sorry, cinnamon, spinach. I like to put nutmeg in spinach. Anything, To me, a butternut squash. To me, the taste of nutmeg is not so overpowering that you can't put it in any roasted vegetable. Also, clove. Oh yeah, talk about a earthy spice. It's full of antioxidants and fiber, and it has an active component in it called eugenol. And I think of Euphegenia doubtfire, dear. Remember? Oh, I can't even do Robin Williams' accent as Euphegenia doubtfire. Y'all remember her? Eugenol is a natural anesthetic that helps fight bacteria and reduces pain and swelling. Therefore, it pairs well with nutmeg if you're going through back and dental issues, like me. So basically, y'all, with these herbs, which are all, as we know, in pumpkin pie, God, I love pumpkin pie, or any sort of fall wonderful dish in some shape or form, you're basically like eating a combination of Five Thieves oil. Y'all know what Five Thieves oil is? That was used back in biblical times to ward off illnesses, because that's the only medicine they essentially had, get it, pun intended, essentially had for essential oils. Okay, I'm stopping while I'm ahead. Five Thieves oil, my cousin Brianna, shout out, she told me about it a while back, to sniff it and kind of use it around your nose region before you fly on a plane, especially. It's like you're warding off the evil, which is great timing for Halloween, and you're warding off germs and inflammation. So here's the thing, y'all. I don't want to eat a ton of inflammatory foods like sugar and flour going into cold season. And yes, dairy should also be avoided because it is an inflammatory food, but y'all, I love it for its protein content. And I just love the tangy dairies like Greek yogurt, kefir, and cottage cheese. So you pick your battles. But I do learn how to monitor myself when I've had too much dairy. I can hear it in my voice. Can y'all hear it in my voice? Joking. No, I do condone all of us to kind of monitor dairy. Some people cannot have it too much because of stomach issues. Goat milk, goat-based products are usually tolerated much better. So most of the dairy I try to do is goat milk based. Hope that tip is helpful. Okay, let's talk about pumpkins and then apples, the health benefits of pumpkins. Vitamins A, C, E, lutein, iron, folate, antioxidants, carotenoids. It helps the immune system, supports eye health. They're a heart healthy food. They're rich in potassium, so that helps regulate your blood pressure, and it also lowers your risk for heart attack and stroke. Pumpkin is high in fiber but low in calories. So, general rule of thumb, you're going to feel full without having a lot of extra food intake, because pumpkin is very fiber dense. It's very nutrient dense, right? But here's the thing I've always heard of being a polycystic ovarian syndrome sister, if you will. Pumpkin is higher on the GI index, glycemic index. It's actually a 75 out of 100. So yes, that is high. However, something else we are now relating to is the GL. Now, the GL is a different system. It's a glycemic load for it's basically a ranking system for carb rich foods, right? So pumpkin, for example, is a carb rich food, But because of how it relates with your blood sugar and it combines like the fiber and all that and how much it's going to really raise your blood sugar levels, if it's less than a 10, then it means it's going to have a minimal impact on your blood sugar. Pumpkin is only 3 out of 10. So, okay, friends, follow me. Glycemic index, which is what we used to really rely heavily on, like watermelon, one of my favorite things ever, pumpkin, another one of my favorite things ever, high on the glycemic index. But glycemic load is what we're working on now. That's something that is more accurate, they're saying. Pumpkin is low on the glycemic load. Here's my thing. I love the health benefits of pumpkin so much that even if it was, I mean, it is still high on the GI, and if we were relating with that more, I would say, screw it. I want a quarter cup of pumpkin every day. Boom. Because the health benefits outweigh the GI risk. You see what I'm saying? Now, apples. We always have heard apple a day keeps the doctor away. They have polyphenols, which is a type of antioxidant. Of course, as you all know, leave the apple skins on to get the most of your nutrient boost. Now, one of my favorite memories is sitting and watching the Goonies with my little cousin Brendan, and he hated apple skins. All right. I couldn't use a knife because I was too young at the time to be allowed to use a knife. So I was literally sitting there watching the Goonies with my cousin Brendan, eating little bits of the skin off and letting him have the whole apple. That is love. I wonder if Brendan remembers that. Apples, like pumpkin, are high in fiber, which is a great thing. And apples are also high in water content. Hence, they are filling. Apples are great for heart health, again, because of that soluble fiber, right? They also have pectin, which is like a type of fiber that serves as a prebiotic, which is great for you. We've heard a lot about probiotics, right? Probiotics are found in like fermented foods like kefir, yogurt, kombucha, kimchi if you're crazy. I don't really like kimchi. My boyfriend Harry loves it. I'm sure many of my fellow friends and listeners out there, y'all love it. I don't dig it. But anyways, it's great for you, obviously. Prebiotics work hand in hand. So things like if I could speak, Jerusalem artichokes, which would make me think, wouldn't it just be also a regular artichoke? So let's just say artichokes in general are good for prebiotics, as is oatmeal and hence apples. So if you're eating, we're going to talk about a little apple recipe on top of yogurt, you're getting your pre and your probiotics because they work together symbiotically. Ooh, I love the biotics. Here's the thing. Apples contain sugar. Apples do contain a decent amount of sugar, 19 grams of sugar. So this girl, I do not do an apple a day, right? I might do 2 apples a week, keep the doctor away, because they are fruit higher in sugar. And again, I'm constantly watching my sugar for the PCOS symptom spikes. But that sugar we're talking about is fructose. So if fructose is consumed in a whole fruit, it's not going to have a huge drastic effect on your blood sugar levels as would say a pumpkin spice latte or even apple cider. Now, I love apple cider, y'all. I know y'all love it too. The kind with the herbs and the spices. I keep calling them herbs, but they're more so spices. The kind with the spices, the kind just straight up, but it's so much sugar. As we know, juice in general packs the sugar. So I say, maybe if you want to do apple cider, y'all, really try to stay to 1 cup a week or less, because it's going to just put you on a big old sugar rush because it's all been extracted. So you're not getting the fiber with the sugar. You're just getting sugar, right? So, okay, here are my top 5 fave healthier, quick fall fixes that I have kind of concocted over the years. If y'all have ever been, I mean, I know I'm from the South, so of course Southerners have been, but they have them all over the country. Oh, Cracker Barrel. So if you've ever pulled over to a Cracker Barrel off I-78 or, I-10, they make these things called smothered apples. But I do a healthier take on them. Actually, it was my mama who started making them. and we kind of like concocted them together. So you just chop your apple. I say keep the skin on because the skin is where the fiber and the nutrients are. You just put like a little coconut oil or coconut butter in your pan, and you put the apples in there. You kind of roast them, like simmer them down. Add a little seltzer, like lemon seltzer, but now they're making apple seltzer, which I have not tasted. That would be great. So add a seltzer. Any flavor's fine, grapefruit, lemon, but again, try that apple seltzer. Why not? And add some cinnamon. You just kind of saute those bad boys down to the texture that you want. And they're even better like the next day, or they can hold up for a couple days in the fridge. You could eat them solo, or you could put them on yogurt, again, the prebiotic and the probiotic, or, you can put them on top of like your overnight oatmeal or fish if you're crazy. No, don't put sauteed apples on fish. No way. Also, instead of apple cider, which I talked a lot about, have teas that taste like fall. Like tea that tastes like a Yankee Candle makes me feel so cozy. I might have one later. I have a little cousin named Rosie. Just trying to rhyme. Okay, so I'm going to tell you all about some teas that I love. No sugar, no sugar. Yay. And the tea alone tastes great. Or you could add a little, maybe if you want to do unsweetened almond milk, or a coconut creamer, because we're keeping it dairy free right now, my friends. Trader Joe's makes a great pumpkin rooibos. They also have a harvest blend, which has like chicory and hibiscus up in there, but it tastes like fall. Or Celestial Seasonings makes Vermont maple ginger. Y'all have got to try that. It is literally fall in a cup. I love it. Now, y'all, I love anything like pumpkin spice. So something that I have recently concocted, I will post a video of it on Instagram, is a pumpkin spice smoothie. It's inspired by a mango lassi, which my boyfriend Harry is Indian, and mango lassi is basically a mango and milk blend, and maybe yogurt in there too, blended. So it's like a mango smoothie, but that's again a lot of sugar. My pumpkin spice smoothie, you could head again to Instagram. I'll be posting it on there. But basically, you could do a combination of kefir or cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, all unsweetened, plain straight up. Almond milk, scoop or two, about a quarter cup of pumpkin pie spice, and I throw a little cinnamon in there. And I just blend it. And it's a high protein, high fiber smoothie, right? And the protein and the fiber make me feel full, and it feels like a sweet treat in the morning, but there's no added sugar. Now, some people might find it too tart. If you want to add like one mushy date in there, go for it. Or if you want to add a little honey, even a little stevia, go for it. You might want or need that. That's fine. Or you could also make, you've probably seen it everywhere, a pumpkin chia pudding. Basically almond milk or milk liquid of choice, pumpkin pie spice, and chia seeds. Boom. So that is a vegan option of the pumpkin pie spice smoothie. Now, y'all, another thing that I have made recently are I had bought applesauce to bake with, to use in place of oil, like vegetable oil, for my boyfriend's brother who is a heart patient. So I try when I bake things for him never to use oil. I mean, olive oil, obviously, as we know, avocado oil, those are fine, but not the cooking oil that baked goods call for. You can use applesauce 1-to-1 ratio in place of that. So that inspired me to have a ton of applesauce on hand. Again, as we know, applesauce does have sugar, but it's going to be balanced because you're going to be adding applesauce, vanilla protein powder, eggs, all right, and oats. And you're going to mix those all up, and you're going to make like these oat applesauce protein muffins. They're great. They're moist. You could also switch it up and add pumpkin instead with the pumpkin pie spice. For the applesauce muffins, I do generally nutmeg, ginger, and cinnamon. Now for the savory stuff, obviously, We love a good bone broth. Obviously we know that's not vegan. I love bone broth, and that's where I was adding my frozen ginger. So I will just keep bone broth on hand, like from Trader Joe's or somewhere. And those frozen herbs and spices you can buy, the frozen ginger, I just pop it in there. Keep some frozen herbs on stock to put into your stock. Pun intended. And I might add some like no salt seasoning. Or you could even get like a frozen butternut squash, roast it, on the side with coconut oil and some spices. You kind of blend it with an immersion blender or in a regular blender, and then add your bone broth, coconut milk, and boom, you have like a creamy, protein, fiber, nutrient dense, easy soup. So adding pumpkin to your baked goods, like especially your baked goods with almond flour and coconut flour, really makes it moist, dare I say. So I hope all of those suggestions help. I knew I threw a lot out there. It's just because fall is a time to really, I think, get back to nature, inspire ourselves to take care of ourselves, and taking care of ourselves involves taking time with our food. So thank you so much for listening.
Thanks so much for listening, y'all. It is my hope to inspire, uplift, and entertain you with this Who's Dat Fat Girl podcast. So, if you're hungry for more, you can book me to speak or perform my solo show that inspired this podcast, Fat Girl Costumes, written by yours truly and directed by Brian Lady at your virtual or in-person event. Please visit brookehoover.com/fluffybuttproductions or email me at contactbrookhoover@gmail.com for more info. And let's follow each other on Instagram. I'm at Brooke Hoover, and the O's in my name are not the letter O, they're zeros. Not because I want to be a size 0, but because I guess I'm just so clever with my late 90s Yahoo self. And if you like this podcast, which I really hope you do, please give me a 5-star rating and write a review on Apple Podcasts. And most importantly, share this with your friends, family, and other people you may know who are as fat as we are. That's fat with a PH.